Good evening, everybody. This is the Thread. Chris Lazar here. It's been a while, and for good reason. I'm just going to come right out and say it right now, right here, right now. The reason you haven't heard from me is because I just moved into a new apartment. What? Apartment. I got a new living space. I don't know if I can hit once, I can hit twice. No, but seriously, I moved into a new apartment and it's kind of crazy with the move. Took a while. Get everything prepared, get everything here. Still close by my hometown, still close by my parents. From work, it's pretty much the same drive. Maybe actually a little bit closer. Yeah, maybe a little bit closer. But you guys kind of knew that this was the direction that this was going in. My last episode was about apartments that I was looking at. Found one that kind of fit the description of all the 5 points that I made in the previous episode. You know, safety, rent, utilities, location, all of those. And this was the place. Rent is not bad, $775. All the utilities are included except for electricity. Safety, yeah, I mean, the city I'm in, Plymouth, similar to Northville, in all honesty. Yeah, very, very, very similar. Location, rent, utilities, yeah. I'm happy I made this move. I think it was the right move to make. It did kind of happen a little bit. It was quick. I mean, it really did happen very, very, quickly. But I'm happy that it did. I am really happy at the way it progressed and it happened, because this was a move that, in all honesty, I should have made this move in 2016. I had just gotten a job making the most money that I had ever made, and it wasn't much. It started me out at 40 a year, which some people hear that and they're like, oh, what? And then other people are like, oh, yeah, that's pretty damn good. It's not bad compared to what I was making before in the research lab and as a rehab tech. Oh, yeah. I should have made it then, and I didn't. And there were some other things that happened that prevented me from moving out after that. And I missed the boat that year. I missed the boat. And I just felt like this was an important time for me to get this done and just do it. And you know what? My priest, I went to a Bible study a couple of weeks ago. And my priest talked about theosis, getting closer to God and taking a leap of faith. And he cited a scene from Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, where they jump into this pit. He's like, you got to jump. You got to take that leap of faith. And I did it. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. This will be my third night here. And so far, it's not bad. I mean, the space it's a one bedroom, one bath. And it's a living space. For right now, this is what I need. I know my parents tried to push me into getting like a condo or buying a house. And you know what? Yeah, I looked into it. The problem though is slightly out of my budget. You know, if I'm trying to put down a lot of money for a house or for a condo to avoid paying the interest, I believe it is. Like if you put 20% down, you don't have to pay PMI, I believe, from what I've told. And maybe we can get John back on the podcast. He's the housing expert over here. he's one of the few friends of mine that owns a house here in Michigan. And for me to do that, I'm looking at houses that are below 100 a year. Below 100 a year. And the thing is, and I get that you have the equity and it's something that you can resell at a time when the market goes higher. But if something goes wrong in that house, that I need to replace something, or an emergency happens, I now am on the hook to get that fixed. And with me putting 20% down, being locked into a house, I wouldn't have that much money left over unless you're talking about going inexpensive of the inexpensivest houses. Then you're talking about, well, am I going to be safe in that area? So that's why I went with this. And you know what? This is a year lease. It's a year lease. And we'll reevaluate after a year. Maybe things go good at the job, you know, maybe I get a pay raise or something. Then I could start looking, you know, maybe something like that happens. Or shit, maybe I find another job. Right? Maybe I find something closer to this area so I don't have to drive down to Detroit. Or shit, maybe I find something out of state. And that's like, well, shit, I can't go because I got a house now. So overall, I'm really happy with this decision. There's going to come a lot more responsibility as far as fiscally, as far as taking care of my own space. Right? Yeah. And I was already cooking and cooking at my parents'. I was cleaning at least my dishes. You know, I was doing that. I was doing laundry. Like, you know, certain stuff like that I was already doing. Like, I was already doing a lot of things. But now it's just I'm on my own. And no internet, no cable, no TV. Just me and my thoughts. Gonna do an experiment. See how I do under these conditions. I'll tell you one thing. It's gonna be hard to post podcasts whenever I want to without an internet. I'm gonna have to figure out. Of course, they do have libraries and stuff, but I'm gonna have to figure something out with that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure something out with that. Maybe post just on the weekends, but record multiple episodes during the week. Not a bad idea. So by the time you hear this, it might have already been a couple days have passed by. One thing I don't like about this apartment is that so there is a washer dryer in-house. Great, you say. But it's only one unit, one washer, one dryer. And it services 12 units in this building. I just am not a fan of those odds. I'm really not. I could see laundry being a clusterfuck sometimes. I mean, especially with me and my gis from jiu-jitsu, which I wash a lot. I just hung one up to just like kind of air dry because I'm just thinking to myself, you know, well, I can't wash this, or I could, but that's the other thing. It costs $2, I think, to frickin' wash something. $2 and probably another $2 to dry it. So I'm gonna have to be more cognizant of that as well. Might have to get me a Costco membership, save some money on food. That was one thing I noticed here. Just eating dinner, I was able to ration. Like back at my parents', if I were to have like a meal after jujitsu, I could almost eat an entire pound of ground beef or like ground turkey just in one sitting, and all the rice like or whatever that I made with it, right? Well, I was able to ration off. I made ground beef yesterday, and I was able to ration it off for 2 nights, which is great. Good value. Got a good meal out of both. One thing I am doing, instead of stuffing myself on the meat and rice, which, hey, there's nothing bad about that. Plus, I had some onions and spinach with that too, so get my greens in there and veggies. I now have a dessert of a sandwich, so I use the sandwich to fill me up instead of the thing that's probably more expensive, which is the meat. This pound of grass-fed ground beef that I had from Whole Foods. I believe it was $6.99 a pound, and I'd have to check the Ezekiel bread, which we bought at Costco. It comes in a 2-pack, and I like Ezekiel bread. I don't eat it a whole. I don't eat it a whole lot. I've been really loving this one brand from Whole Foods, this other sprouted bread. So I've been usually getting that, but Ezekiel bread, it's not bad bread. It's good. It really is pretty good. So there's been that. I've been doing that as a dessert to kind of fill myself up a little more. And then, of course, you know me, I don't eat breakfast in the morning. That's another thing I did. Oh, that I didn't update you guys on. So what I used to do was during the weekdays, I would make it at least 12 hours. Usually I could finish dinner, and I'm talking about intermittent fast here. I could usually finish dinner by 10 o'clock at night. Then I wouldn't eat anything until at least 10 the next day, and I would break my fast like whatever, 10:30 at 11 with some fruit. I do a lot of berries. I've been doing oranges lately. What else have I done? Mostly just a lot of berries. A lot of berries. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, sometimes cranberries. Lately I've been doing oranges as well, incorporating that into it. And now what I've been doing is I won't eat anything until my lunch, which is usually noon or longer. So I usually end up getting a guaranteed like 14 hours intermittent fast. Today I did 15. My lunch was late. It was at 1. And I'll have my fruit, my yogurt, cereal, etc. right there at my lunch. And then I'll come back in my second break and I will eat my sandwich, which is usually some sort of like nut butter and jelly. Lately it's been tiger nut butter. Very, very good. Very, very good tiger nut butter. Very fatty, like most nuts. And tiger nuts actually not even a nut. Technically not. But it's like most other like nuts and seeds, very high in fat, good amount of fiber. Yeah, some protein in there as well. So I usually do that at my second break, is eat that. And then again, I usually have a decent amount of fast from that until dinner, which is usually after I train. Today I trained, today I did my little ghetto workout at the play structure. Oh yeah, you know it. So I did that. Plus I ran hills, which was kind of a bad idea. It turned out to be a good workout, but it's kind of a bad idea. Very muddy. Very, very muddy. Kind of like just a muddy, like a mud hole, like the mud pit, like the slime. So my shoes got a little bit dirty. I got to clean those off this weekend. Luckily, they aren't like my work shoes that I primarily wear to work. Bought some new shoes for work, and I'm very happy with them. New Balance. Bought them at Kohl's, but they weren't on discount. Kohl's, the last few times I've bought shoes at Kohl's, they have not been discounted. Kohl's is getting a little, they're skipping out on their discounts, not giving as many discounts for the shoes as they do other stuff. I'm a little disappointed in that. A little bit. Because, I like the cheap brands, Fila, New Balance, Skechers. Been staying away from the Nike. I'm not a Nike guy anymore. I'm an Under Armour guy. But even their Under Armour stuff, decently expensive. They did have one pair that I really liked, didn't have it in my size. Well, no, they did, but they had it in the wide. I'm like, all right, I'm not fucking Quasimodo over here. I don't need that shoe. It's too freaking wide. I don't have a flippers for feet that I would need that wide of a shoe. So I bought these New Balance for like $50. It's still not a bad price, and it's a solid shoe. It's a solid shoe. I like it. They're light, cushiony. Yeah, not bad. I'm staring at some sweet potatoes right now. One thing, and you know what? When I moved in here, there's a couple things that I don't have that I still need. One of them being a tin foil for like my pans if I do any baking. And, sure enough, one thing that I forgot to pick up at my parents' tinfoil. Also measuring cups, but I did steal their 1 cup measuring cup from their house. There's some other things I need. I need like a pair of like kitchen scissors, which I brought a pair with me, but now I can't find it anymore. It's somewhere around here. I was an idiot. I put the coconut oil in the fridge, which you don't need to do because it gets really fucking hard. So hopefully it's good by the time I use it tomorrow morning. It should be. I hope so. I mean, I have jelly here. We could always do that. But I like coconut oil. Coconut oil is good for you. In moderation, I'm sure. High in saturated fat. In case y'all didn't know that. Ah. Guys, that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about tonight. Wanted to share with you that exciting news, and we're going to get more. We'll I do got some plans. I got some plans for where I want to take this podcast, so stay with me. Come on my journey. Crystal Czar signing out. This is The Thread.